I really love this store. I mean, I think there's like a few small tweaks that they could change, but overall it was a lot of fun. Good morning from Osaka, Japan. It is day 13, the last full day here on Highlights of Japan with EF Ultimate Break. I'm so sad to be leaving Japan tomorrow, but it's okay because we still have a full day here. We just got some coffee. Our plans are super chill for the day. We're gonna go find some street food. We're gonna do some shopping, and then we have our farewell dinner tonight. It should be really good. I was looking at the restaurant; it looks insane. And then we're going out for all you can drink after at this I guess it's like a beautiful view of the city up high. I'm very excited. So today should be a chill day, but I want to show you guys the farewell dinner and a little bit of Osaka, and then tomorrow when I fly home on day 14. I'm going to give you my full review of the trip. Spoiler alert, it's pretty good. I love this trip. So I will do that tomorrow on day 14. But stay tuned for today. Let's go explore Osaka. Good morning from the Osaka airport. I am here. You can see my plane arriving now. It is day 14, the last day where everyone flies home. I'm so sad. Last night, the farewell dinner, it was really fun. We got this Korean barbecue place in downtown Bori, the main party area in Osaka. We did superlatives, which was super fun. We all got to vote, and then my tour director announced them all. And then he did his own too. So I got human GPS, pack mule, because I always had medicine and what I've eaten and literally anything else you could ever need in my backpack. And best Instagram stories, which was nice because I really struggled to post on Instagram, but they're all coming. I was too busy enjoying Japan, so it was super fun. Now it's the day we all leave. Everyone else, I actually stayed an extra day to go to Universal, to go to Mario, Super Nintendo World, so cool. So everyone else actually left yesterday, but today's my day 14. I'm heading home. So I'm here in Osaka right now. I booked my own flights for this. I'm flying EVA Air from KIX to Taipei and then Taipei to Chicago. So it's going to be a long day. But I just want to check in and tell you about the farewell dinner, which was fun. Oh, and then after we did an after party at Automata, which was this 32nd floor skyline views of the city. So fun. We got a whole private little space for all of us. It was really cool. And then after party at the hotel, we all just kind of hung out, said our goodbyes. Like I said, I loved this group. Everyone was so fun. I missed them all so much already. But yeah, we all had to go our separate ways. It was a good 2 weeks in Japan. But so I'm going to fly to Taipei. When I get to Taipei, I'm going to give my full review of this trip. So let me go board my flight and I will check in with you in a little bit. Alright, made it to Taipei. About to board my gate. Super awkwardly. Gonna film this review in the my gate area where there's a billion people because I want to do it before I forget. And I have my notes. So first, real quick, usually I do a breakdown of my budget and what I've spent on this trip. Didn't do that this time for multiple reasons. One, I think that Japan is a hard country to plan a budget for because you kind of know how much you're gonna spend on souvenirs and stuff. Personally, I spent probably a little more on souvenirs than I was planning, but less on food. I dropped a lot of money at the Nintendo store, and I also spent a lot of money at H&M because I didn't pack well enough. I was planning on doing some thrift shopping there, and then it didn't end up being as good as I thought. So, and then also I had friends there, and we ended up doing a lot of, oh, here you get this, I get this, all that, let's share food, all that kind of stuff. So it was really hard to like track my spending in that way. But you know you're spending best if you're gonna go drop tons of money at arcades or like souvenir shops, or you know, like buy all your anime or your Nintendo stuff, bring a lot more money than you're planning. The food was cheaper than I expected. But also, like, if you're gonna do like expensive meals and stuff, like there's a ton of like Michelin star restaurants there, pack more money. You know your budget. So that's why I didn't do the spending breakdown. Okay, so then it comes to packing on this trip. I went at the end of May, early June, about like a week in May, week in June. There were some very cold, rainy days, like especially in like Hakone, and then when I was in Tokyo at the beginning, and then there were also some very hot days as well. So you kind of have to pack if you're going in spring, pack for both. Like I said, I ended up having to buy a bunch of clothes, but I did pack a rain jacket, a sweater, like a hoodie, and like a puffer jacket. So I wore everything throughout the days, and then there are other days where I was like sweating and needed my handheld fan. So keep that in mind if you're going at the end of May. And then now I'm just going to break down the trip by city, the hotels we did, the optional excursions, and just like my thoughts on it. So first we did 4 nights in Tokyo. We stayed at the hotel Kamada Ikame. I love Tokyo. I thought that the days there were really fun, and it gives you like a good balance of like going around plus like activities if you want. So the hotel was pretty far out of the city. I went a few days solo first, and I stayed way closer to the city in like a nice hostel. But I guess that's the best EF could have done is way out of the city. But it was fine because we were right by a train station, so it's easy to get anywhere. The 4 nights were fun. The first day I really liked because they kind of took you to like the most popular neighborhoods so you could see them, and then decide if you want to go back. Because on the 2 free days, we did the team labs on day 4, which cost $50, and then the Shimokatsuzawa neighborhood visit on day 5, which was $25. I thought that the team labs one was totally worth it. The Shimokatsuzawa neighborhood visit, maybe less so if you have nothing else planned that day. I think it was fun. Good to go drink. But if you have other things you want to do in Tokyo, day 5 is a great day to do them. Like a bunch of people went to Disney that day, even though it was rainy. But so yeah, Tokyo I thought was really good. And then we took a bus to Hakone, which is where like Mount Fuji is and stuff. I didn't really enjoy that part. One, it was rainy, so we didn't get to do like the cable car, which was probably like the best part. We did get to see Mount Fuji like later in the day as the rain cleared up, but I thought that like the egg like hot springs thing that we went to was a little silly. And then we spent like an hour and a half at a sake tasting, which was fine. I did it, but like there was a bunch of people who didn't drink, so that was kind of like a waste of an afternoon. But at the same time, there was like nothing else to do, so I kind of wish they would like, I don't know, make something better for that. But then we stayed at the new Haikian, which is a traditional Roikan style hotel, which is where you're staying on the ground, and like the restaurants you're like eating sitting on the ground. That was cool to experience, and they had like onsens there. The great part about the onsens at that hotel is that people with tattoos could go, because it was like private onsen, and as you can imagine, a bunch of people in an 18 to 35-year-old group trip have tattoos. So I didn't do the onsen. I wasn't really in the mood. But everyone who went said it was cool. Okay, so in Hakone, they also gave you like to wear at dinner and around the hotel the yukatas, which is like those traditional style like robes, which was kind of fun to experience. The problem was we had an included dinner that night at the hotel where we sit on the ground and stuff. I thought it was good, but then I found out after that my friend who's vegetarian, they had her sit in a specific seat so that they made sure that she got the vegetarian meal, and she ended up being served a pescatarian meal, which has fish, and vegetarians usually don't eat fish. She is one of them. That was a huge mess up. She hasn't eaten fish in like 15 years. So one, it messed up with her stomach for a good couple days. Two, it was just like really upsetting. So I don't know. I think the hotel, our tour director, and EF could have taken steps to make sure that didn't happen. So I was really upset with all of them for that. That's, yeah, all I'll say about that. So then from Hakone, we took a bullet train, which if you watch that video, you know it was my favorite thing in the world, to Kyoto, where we stayed 3 nights at the Ibis Styles Kyoto station. I really liked Kyoto. I thought it was fun. The partying kind of like picked up there, which I liked. We did karaoke one night. That's where I like busted my knee. I'm fine. It's just very bruised still, even though it's been over a week now. So we had a lot of free time in Kyoto, and then we did a bunch of shrines. So I think it was like the perfect balance of like guided stuff and free time, which we kind of needed by like days 8 and 9. So the one extra was the tea ceremony, or actually, sorry, there were 2 extras. One was the tea ceremony, which was $30. I thought it was a little silly. It's just, those just aren't really my things though, so I'll say that. I mean, for $30, I was like, whatever. If you're interested in seeing the culture behind that and you like matcha, I think it might be worth it. I don't like matcha, So I wasn't a huge fan, but you kind of know yourself if you're gonna like a tea ceremony or not. I thought it was gonna be a little more like fun, but it was very serious. And then also there was such a big group of us that there were like 3 rows in this tiny room. I ended up in the back row with all my friends, and we couldn't see anything during the tea ceremony. So I think that's part of also why I didn't like it. And then the other optional excursion was the hike that got rained out on my trip, so I have no notes on that. And then we took another bullet train from Kyoto to Hiroshima for one night. We stayed at the Smile Hotel Hiroshima. I really enjoyed my time in Hiroshima. It was kind of sombering, but we got like a little guided tour and stuff. That was good. The museum was packed with field trips. Apparently that's just the time of year this happened, and we went on like a weekday, so that kind of stunk because we didn't get to enjoy the museum at all because it was just so packed. Like you couldn't even see anything or barely move. So that was my one problem with there. But other than that, it was cool. And then Majima Island was like one of my favorite parts of the trip. I kind of wish we spent like a little more time there. I don't know how that would have worked, like staying on the island and stuff. I'm sure it's expensive and there's not that many hotels. But and then from Hiroshima to Osaka, we took a bus for the last 3 nights. I liked Osaka as well. We stayed at the Maxi Osaka Honmachi, which was really cool. I liked Osaka. Good parties, good farewell dinner. The 2 optional excursions. One was the day trip to Nara, which I loved, which included like the meditation and lunch. Super fun. And then that same night we had the optional food tour, which was $85. I didn't like that. It's called a food tour. Personally, it felt like we were just eating dinner. We went to one place. Okay, so the description for the food tour on the website is a 2-hour food tour where you will make 3 different stops for food and enjoy 2 different drinks. We made 2 stops, not 3. One was just at a restaurant. That's where we got all the food and 3 drinks. And then the second stop was just to a bar and we got a drink. So 4 drinks, 2 stops, a lot of alcohol. I mean, you didn't have to get alcohol. You could get 4 Cokes if you wanted. But for having quite a few non-drinkers on our trip, some of which are my friends, that seemed unfair to them to make it more of a drinking-based tour. And then to only have one food stop is not a tour. It is just a dinner. I could have taken $85 and spent that on myself for a nice dinner. But so that was the one excursion that I didn't like for that reason. It just wasn't very tour-esque. Like the food was fine. Was it worth $85? No. So that's my thoughts on that. That was a breakdown of the night. I really love this tour. I mean, I think there's like a few small tweaks that they could change, but overall it was a lot of fun. Very city focused though. If you're looking to get like more like the cultural parts of Japan and less of the city, this is not the trip for you. But if you're good with cities and you're okay to have some free time to like go out and do what you want, there is quite a bit of free time. So if you're not a very like outgoing person or don't want to go explore on your own, keep that in mind. If you are a picky eater, this might be a tougher trip for you, but as long as you're willing to try stuff and like can find something to eat at like the group dinners, there's enough free time that like you're not going to starve. So those are my thoughts on that. Great trip overall. I wish they'd make a few tiny little tweaks, but I had a great time. All right, I'm gonna go hop on my flight from Taipei to Chicago. It's 14 hours, so wish me luck. I'm flying on the Hello Kitty plane, but it's dark out, so I can't even see it. Or I can barely see it. So yeah, long flight, great trip. Love Japan. Can't wait to go back soon. And I will see you next time.